depends, Ruben, how many artifacts Kelvin does have.
Yeah, let's assume for the moment Kelvin has an artifact land in his hand, and that's it.
Yeah.
He's going to get to reveal it for 2 colorless, then tap the Ancient Tomb, his other land, and the land he gets to play, and that's already 6.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
guessing
like the
he's
bare
gonna,
minimum.
That's the bare minimum. I'm guessing he's going to want to try to cast something else, possibly a Worm Coil Engine or a Blightsteel Colossus, that he can reveal.
Well, oddly enough, what it looks like we're seeing here is an attack with Metalworker and just passing the turn back, so no broken stuff to do. Even though there is 5 mana in play, Metalworker can provide at least 2, so that's a little bit surprising.
Well, Kelvin kept the hand based on the turn 1 Chalice, which is a beating against pretty much every well, not every deck, but over half the decks in the format.
Yeah, a turn 1 Chalice in the play is quite the play in
Yes.
this format.
Very good against Bug, Rug, etc.
So we're going to see a Wasteland here from Ross. I'm just going to pass the turn back, and we'll see if Kelvin can find anything to do with his Mud deck. A bunch of mana. You see Cydia Traders in his hand, the rest of the cards being a mystery currently. And another
Beats.
attack.
1-2 beats. Not the most popular 1-2 in Legacy. That probably goes to Deathrite Shaman right now, although Stoneforge Mystic could have something to say about that. Shout out to Brian Bronduin and his squires that he always puts in his sideboard.
All those cards don't let my Goblin Lackey get through.
Correct.
I don't like that.
It is completely unrealistic that Deathrite Shaman has 2 toughness.
I agree. I don't like it at all. That's why I have to switch decks
Among
now.
unrealistic things that have happened, I talked to Pat about this. Among unrealistic things about that card is the number 2 appearing on that card in the toughness slot.
Rude. So we do see 3 mana here. We're going to see Metalworker number 2. Ever seen the 1-2 beatdowns before?
I have. They are not impressive.
Yeah, don't need Wormcoil Engine, don't need Caduth the Forge Master, don't need Blightsteel or Sundering Titan. 1-2 beatdowns.
That's right.
That's all it takes.
Well, Ross is somewhat locked out, it looks like. I mean, like about 20 of his cards do cost 1 mana. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really doing anything here. You know, he can attempt to get his hand size up to 8, having to discard one of his large threats. He does have Inkwell Leviathan and Iona, Shield of Emeria in his deck, and then Exhume it back. But again, this, I mean, if he's not going to draw any lands, it leads me to believe he's got a lot of 1-drops in his hand. So, and it looks like he just drew an Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth, which he has 3 copies of in his deck. At least that's what it looks like right now in his hand.
Yeah, very good with Dark Depths, of course, allowing you to go for the win almost immediately. This also allows his Wasteland to tap for black mana should he want to beseech the Queen without sacrificing a Lotus Petal.
Now we do see a Lotus Petal here. And just a turn, passing the turn back, so still nothing to do for Ross.
My guess of what's going to happen now is we're going to see Urami enter the battlefield.
Is it about that time?
I think it's about that time. That's what I think is going to happen.
I would be surprised.
I've seen Stranger Things. I don't think we have any Urami tokens available on the Star City Games table.
Somebody's not doing their job.
That's my fault. I apologize. I'll take full. Yep. Here comes Urami.
There we go. No, I've tested this matchup a lot, as I told you.
Yes.
And this can change the game.
Yeah.
Still anyone's game, though.
Still anyone's game. But certainly a 5/5 Urami token.
And we're going to bring up the Tomb of Urami for you guys just one more time, because again, it's a card that you don't see very often. It's Champions of Kamigawa block card. Sacrifice long lands, put a 5/5 black Demon Spirit token with flying, which is important right now, into play.
There he is.
And as you see, there is no token for this. We didn't bring the Urami tokens with us. We might have to start.
This should probably just be a Jerry Thompson token.
Yeah. And in for 5 we go, so this is actually going to knock Kelvin down to 11.
I mean, that's not an unreasonable plan of attack, considering his hand is just full of 1-cost spells and exhumes with nothing to discard.
Yeah, and I mean, Kelvin's not really doing anything, and if he ever does tap an Ancient Tomb, it's going to bring down his turn clock from 3 turns, which is where he's at right now, to 2, as we see
Copper Gnomes.
Copper Gnomes, and we'll bring that up on the screen for you guys.
That's a weird one, especially for the Metalworker decks. Even if you're playing Metalworker, odds are you're not playing Copper Gnomes. However, if you're more combo-oriented, like Kelvin is with his Caduth the Forge Masters, you definitely want to have Copper Gnomes. Copper Gnomes, as you see there, sort of cheats large things into play. For 6 mana, you can put in a Blightsteel Colossus, for example.
Absolutely. And so now we are going to see the old demon coming across again. It's going to knock Kelvin down to 6. I can't believe my eyes. I think I might see a 5/5 demon named Urami go all the way as we see a Dark Depths come into play.
Scary. That comes in with 10 counters, by the way.
Yeah, it does come in with 10 counters.
So that Dark Depths is going to have some counters on it. Don't worry too much about that, though. I don't think that's going to be where this game's headed.
Sundering Titan, the draw stack for Kelvin.
Not ideal.
And it's not really going to kill anything right now, but also it may not be here soon enough to actually race against this team, this demon token, this 5/5 flyer.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see next game when Urborg is in play and Sundering Titan happens. That's going to be fun.
That could be a lot of fun.
To destroy the only one target, seeing as Ross only has swamps in his deck. I predict a non-basic land hitting the bin from Sundering Titan next in one of the next two or next game.
I find it to be rather likely as well. But now you see Kelvin, he's contemplating. The Sundering Titan, it doesn't really change the clock at all. You know, what he can do here this turn is he can attack for 3, put Ross down to 11, and then, you know, put Sundering Titan into play through Copper Gnomes. He would have to take some damage to do that if he uses the Ancient Tomb, if he doesn't have another land. And then, you know, that will shorten his clock. It actually would probably kill him. So the issue here is that, you know, the clock doesn't change at all.
Yeah.
It's not fast enough.
He needed a Wormcoil Engine or a Kuldotha Forge Master to be able to change the game.
Yeah, Blightsteel Colossus also would have gotten it done. You know, Mindslaver is something that I'm not sure how good Mindslaver would have been right now, but it would have been at least like, you know, a makeshift Time Walk.
Yeah. Kelvin's trying to figure it out. He has tested this matchup clearly less than you.
Yes.
Obviously. You spend your days and nights testing this matchup. You expect this at every open.
Now we see 4 artifact reveals, 2 Volta Whispers, and it looks like 2 Sundering Titans.
No,
that's a Mox Diamond, so just 1 Sundering Titan there. So it is going to generate 8 mana via that Metalworker.
This is probably just going to cast this Sundering Titan. What non-artifact? He doesn't have any non-artifact guys that he wants to cast, like a Karn.
Yeah.
Or any Eldrazi.
Yeah, none of that stuff. No Karn Liberated. Just no Karn. Period.
Sure.
In this particular deck, it's just the big stuff. Once again, it's just the 4 copies of Kuldotha Forge Master, 3 Wormcoil Engines, 3 Blightsteel Colossus, 2 Sundering Titans.
And here comes Copper Gnomes and Metalworker beats. Not really going to get it done.
The Titan coming into play and just not doing anything, oddly enough.
Yep.
Ross takes
Vanilla
a draw step.
7/10.
Finds a swamp for the turn. Don't stop attacking now.
That's right.
Yep.
Kelvin's going to drop down to 1. You know, I'm not sure I've seen an Urami token.
I don't even know what it looks like.
Ever.
Kelvin draws a card, and he's going to scoop it
up to the Urami token. Well, that's interesting. Hey, it's our friend in the top hat. That is an interesting game of Legacy. And look, folks,
and that is seriously why this is the best format in Magic, and it's not even close.
Because if you had told me, you know what's going to happen today, one of these rounds, Urami is going to win a game by attacking 4 times.
You know what I would have said to that?
What? What's Urami?
What's Urami?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's delicious sushi.
So we have Ross Roemer up a game, oddly enough, with Tomb of Urami taking it down just to one of in his deck, apparently for a reason.
Yeah, there it is. All right, moving to the sideboards.
Yes.
Clearly, these players came with this matchup in mind.
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't you? When you think Legacy, the 2 most popular archetypes are Reanimator Depths and Mud.
Mud that draws no spells.
Mud that draws no spells, correct. So, on Ross Roemer's side, his sideboard consists of a Terastodon and a 2nd Shield of Emeria to be able to reanimate. I'm not sure that that's the plan that he wants to be going on. Yeah,
Iona's not going to be able to name anything of relevance here. And the odd thing here is that even though Kelvin did see Vault of Whispers, Ross did see Vault of Whispers from Kelvin, he doesn't really even know what black cards he could even have, even if he does have any.
Hymn to Torok seems like a much more realistic option, as does Ratchet Bomb.
Yep.
He also has access to a Null Rod. Seems very good.
I would like that very much if I was him.
Shout out to Glenn Jones with the Null Rod.
Yes.
And what do we see over there in Kelvin Young's neck of the woods?
Kelvin's side, he has 4 copies of Perish, not coming in. 4 copies of Engineered Plague, not coming in. 3 copies of Grafdigger's Cage. That could probably join us. We see 2 copies of Pack Rat, which are unlikely to come in. A Trinisphere, which I think is going to come in, and then a Nile Spellbound, which is 100% going to come in.
Yes. Did Ross see any of the... There's Urami. Hey, look at that. Thanks, Choi. That's a sweet token.
That is a sweet token, actually.
That's excellent.
I wouldn't mind losing to that now.
Yeah, no, that's fine. What are those floating masks doing, though?
Well, that was Kamigawa block, so there's really no explanation for that. You know, they're just there.
It's Kamigawa block.
Yeah.
We have no explanations.
Yeah.
All right. So he didn't really see any of the reanimation pieces.
That's actually true. There was nothing discarded like Reanimate, like an Exhume and Tomb. None of that stuff was seen. All we saw was Lotus Petal, like
Tomb
a land,
Harami.
and Tomb of Harami. That's it.
That's about it.
For all Kelvin knows, it's a Tomb of Harami deck.
Well, he also saw Dark Depths, so Kelvin can realistically think, all right, we have a Vampire Hexmage Dark Depths deck. Maybe we've got, you know, like Shred Memory to be able to transmute for combo pieces, or, you know, Beseech the Queen, which Ross does have, but he certainly can't put Ross on a graveyard-based deck.
Yeah. At this point, I think it's borderline impossible. Now, the interesting thing here, is that now Spellbomb, he can hedge a little bit simply because it does cycle.
Yes.
So he can do a little bit of hedging there, but the rest of his sideboard cards, I would be surprised to see exactly what route he chooses to take here. I could easily see him boarding out the Sundering Titans, which I think would be reasonable based on the little information he got, or if he had a complete information, just because it's not really that great here.
I think that the Sundering Titans, possibly the Mindslaver, are both reasonable things to take out, but he doesn't have a ton of stuff he wants to take out. The Chalice clearly did a lot of work, he just needed to draw some more action. So he's not going to take those out.
Yeah.
And if Chalice is good, Trinisphere is good.
Of course.
So I imagine he'll just bring in another Trinisphere. So I don't think that any of the graveyard hate is going to come in.
Yeah, I don't think a ton of stuff really does change here. I think if you're Kelvin, you're just saying, okay, I just didn't draw very well. I mean, that sort of thing happens, and just, you know, move on to the next game.
I think that, you know, you're only going to win so many games with Tomb of Harami beats 4 times. I think that time has probably ended, so he's going to want to find another avenue for victory this round.
You'd like to think so.
Although he's not too happy with his hand. Sort of very close decision, it looks like. He's going to keep.
So we're going to see Ancient Tomb here. We're going to see another turn 1 Chalice of the Void. We are not. We are going to see a turn 1 Grim Monolith. And he's opting... He could cast the Trinisphere in his hand as well right now, but Kelvin is opting not to, picking a better spot, or maybe saving that mana for later.
Yeah, he wants to probably cast possibly a turn 2 Wormcoil Engine, something along those lines.
So we do see an Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth, from Ross, just passing the turn back.
No discard spells, a little bit of a beating now, because Kelvin's going to be able to, if he so chooses, drop one of his now 2 Trinispheres, or an enormous spell of some kind.
Gonna move down to 16, and we're gonna see another Grim Monolith here. Now we're gonna see a Trinisphere.
Does Kelvin have a second land drop? We're gonna read Trinisphere. And so's Ross.
And we will bring it up for you guys for you to see. Basically what that does is just makes everything cost 3.
Right.
That's exactly
so
what it does.
if you cast a Brainstorm, which usually costs a blue mana,
Yeah.
it would cost 2 colorless.
And a blue mana. And there's always these interesting questions that come up with the layering of Trinisphere and how do things work. And the easiest way to look at it is just, it costs 3.
It costs 3.
Yeah. Whatever you're thinking, it just costs 3 most of the time.
Especially, okay, and especially, I think that, how does it affect Force of Will, do you know?
It costs 3.
Costs 3.
Yeah.
So we discard a blue card, pay 1 life, and it costs 3.
Yeah.
All right, got it. It says as long as Trinisphere's untapped?
Yes.
Man, that's a weird one.
Yeah.
I hope he has a way to tap it. That'd be awesome. Tezzeret, attack you.
It's off. The coast is clear.
Yeah, we did it. I've attacked with many a Howling Mine to prevent my opponents from drawing cards, so I'm not too proud to try to do that.
The thing is, I believe you.
I did that several times.
We are going to see a Kuldotha Forge Master here for you guys. And you're going to have Ross read that, and we're going to bring it up for you as well. We're bringing up a lot of cards this match because a lot of unusual things going on here.
Yeah.
Forge Master is going to be able to bring out the big old Blightsteel.
Yeah, it's the Tinker Man. He's a Thrabban Purebreds most of the time, but if you tap and sacrifice 3 artifacts, you are able to search your library for an artifact and put it onto the battlefield. That's going to be able to snag one of his Blightsteel Colossuses.
As we're going to see Pithing Needle here.
Pithing Needle's probably going to name Kuldotha Forge Master, seeing as it has a colon
I'd say
in
that's
its
a
name.
pretty good choice.
And that's a 3-mana Pithing Needle. Because it costs 3.
That's how it works. And so now, Kelvin, I mean, unfortunately, not going to be able to activate the Forge Master, but it is a beater.
It is a Thrabban. It's still Thrabban Purebloods.
So
We're
coming
still attacking
across for 3, but he doesn't have any lands, and those monoliths are spent right now. So it might be a case of gotta get in for 3 a bunch of times and hope it's good.
Hey, worked for Ross last time.
That's true. As odd as that is we are going to see now
Vampire
Hexmage and Dark Depths.
There's the combo. So, let me explain this combo to you. So Dark Depths comes in with 10 counters. When all of the counters... Cedric, are you okay?
I'm fine.
When all of the counters are off of Dark Depths, you put a 20/20 flying indestructible creature named Merit Lage into play. A token. We probably have as many Merit Lages in the case as we do Uramis. That would be 0. And usually it's 3 colorless, remove a counter. But Vampire Hexmage says remove all counters from target permanent. And so he's going to be able to sacrifice this Hexmage to put Merit Lage into play. There's Vampire Hexmage.
What they call that in business, they call that a combo, Ruben.
That is a combo. That is a 2-card combo.
Yeah, and we're going to see a block here. I don't think we're going to see a block. We're going to just see a 20/20. And that's going to do it.
Yep.
So Ross Roemer.
Legendary Flying Tokens is probably what the deck should have been called.
LFT.
LFT.
Change the name.
All right, LFT is going to win this round. Game 1 goes to Urami. Game 2 goes to Merit Lage. Kelvin had a bunch of the stuff that he wanted, but didn't have anything to follow it up with. And Ross was able to hit pressure points. Just, you know, all right, I can't cast spells. I guess I'll just use this land.
8 years.
Yeah.
I've been playing competitive Magic.
Yep.
8 years.
Uh-huh.
Going on 9.
Sure.
My birthday is March 2nd. I've never seen anything like that before.
That was very
match.
unique.
I have never seen a match like that before.
I have never seen a match